What starts with review and ends with reviews? You got one guess. It's this show you're watching, Reviews and Review. I'm Ben Pack. It's the week of May 26th, 2014, and let's review some reviews. We're going to start by getting right into this week's reviews. First, we've got Monochroma for PC. Darren Nakamura reviewed the game, which follows one simple premise. What if we took Limbo and made it shittier? It's a grayscale puzzle platformer that fails at doing either of those well. Darren felt that, quote, despite its impressive audiovisual presentation, it fails in the areas that make a game a game. Darren gave Monochroma a 4 out of 10. Next up is the 4th episode of The Wolf Among Us in Sheep's Clothing. Chris Carter reviewed the game, and he thought it wasn't bad. Anyway, it seemed to be about as good as the other episodes, but Chris wanted it to do a little more, seeing as how there's only one episode left in this season. Chris gave episode 4 of The Wolf Among Us in Sheep's Clothing a 7.5 out of 10. The biggest release this week, and maybe this month, is Watch Dogs. In it you play as Aiden Pierce, a technological wonder kid who is more interested in your porn preference and hacking your Snapchat than gathering government secrets. Then a bunch of stuff happens and it doesn't matter really because you get a spider tank like the one from Wild Wild West. Watch Dogs has gotten some mixed reviews, but Chris seemed to like it. He thought it was all around solid, but not amazing in any key areas, stating, quote, despite the fact that Watch Dogs hasn't made any meaningful impact in the genre, I found myself having a ton of fun with it. Chris gave Watch Dogs an 8 out of 10. Lastly, we have the visual novel World and Economica, Episode 1, reviewed by Brittany Vincent. It tells the story of Hal, a teen who runs away from home in order to pursue a career in day trading. You know, the age-old setup for all anime visual novels out there. Episode 1 seems weak, and unless the end of the game reveals that you're the teenage version of that E-Trade baby, then I have no intention of playing this series. Brittany thought Economica had a lot of potential, but, quote, unfortunately it squanders the opportunity to capitalize on these great bullet points and winds up a generic, muddled mess of pacing issues, bland dialogue, and characters too difficult to connect with. Brittany gave World and Economica, Episode 1, a 4 out of 10. I'll be frank, this week sucked for games. Even Johnny Watchdog couldn't save it with all his techno-wizardry. That's why I'm giving this week, May 26, 2014, my lowest review I've given yet. I'm giving it 2 Zune HDs out of 10. Make sure to read all the reviews on Destructoid.com for more info.